All right, we've got to deal with this. Hebrew Israelites have this idea that Israelites are somehow Gentiles. Gentiles means non-Israelites. They go and try to misread the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, not realizing it's defining three terms. It's defining Gentiles, but then in parentheses, it says nations, people, and realize that the definition is for all of those. But because they don't understand that, and they don't want to go look in other Bible dictionaries, because all the other Bible dictionaries, when they're just defining Gentile, prove that it means non-Israelites. So we're going to go into it. We've already addressed all the handful of texts that they try to use that say Gentiles are Israelites. We've shown repeatedly, in fact, that that's not what it means. So we're going to now show that the Bible, both God himself and other Israelites, still call them Israel, even when they're in idolatry, even when they're scattered. Now you'll say, oh, but doesn't it say in Hosea? They will be not a people. They will be not his people in Isaiah. Yes, that means Israel is not God's people anymore. It does not mean that they're not Israelites. So let's go into the Bible, and we're going to see, while scattered, while exiled to Assyria, while worshiping idols, they're still Israelites. This is 2 Kings 17:23. This is just the narrator, the author of the book, telling us. And it says, until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants the prophet, so was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day. So even though they had been in idolatry, and even though they were carried away to Assyria, they were still Israel. Now here we see Hezekiah writing a letter, and it addresses the Israelites as children of Israel. 2 Chronicles 36. So the post went with the letters from the king and his princes throughout all Israel and Judah, and according to the commandment of the king, saying, Ye children of Israel, turn again unto the Lord. This is after the Assyrian exile, after he scatters them, after the divorce talked about in Hosea. And yet Hezekiah still refers to them as children of Israel. They have not turned again to God. He's inviting them to. He's saying, if you will return to him, he will return to you. So to Hezekiah, an Israelite, they're still Israelites. Now we're going to see how God refers to them. This is Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 6. It says, the Lord said also unto me in the days of Josiah the king. This is the second half of the 7th century BC, well after the exile, well after his scattering, his divorcing of the northern kingdom. But notice he says, hast thou seen that which backsliding Israel hath done? He does not say, hast thou seen that which the Gentiles hath done? He says, Israel. Now again, God speaking, Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 17. Israel is a scattered sheep. The lions have driven him away. First the king of Assyria hath devoured him, and last this Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon hath broken his bones. They are still Israel. So we need to stop it with this argument that somehow they're no longer Israel. Yes, they were scattered, but they were still Israelites. Their lineage did not change. Their bloodline did not change. They remained Israelites, and they continued to be called Israelites, both by God and by other Israelites. This is why Jesus in Matthew 10, 5 and 6, Matthew 15, 24, could speak of the house of Israel. He said, I have come but for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That is either the northern kingdom, and so the southern kingdom is excluded, or it is all 12 tribes. Well, Peter repeats the same thing in Acts chapter 2, verse 36, saying, "Therefore let all the house of Israel know," referring to all 12 tribes. The ministry of Jesus and the apostles, when Jesus first returns to heaven, up until Cornelius, was to all 12 tribes, wherever they were. Now, Jesus didn't leave Israel, but the apostles and their ministry certainly did. That's why James, in his letter between 40 and 50 AD, addresses the 12 tribes that were scattered about. The Gentiles had only just started to come into the church at that point. So he's really addressing the vast majority of the church because they were all Jews. They were all Israelites. The Gentiles only started with Cornelius and then really picked up in Paul's ministry in Antioch of Pisidia in Acts 13. And that's where they begin to develop and come in as a significant part of the church. But that took time. James, being one of the people addressing Israel, sends his letters to the 12 tribes scattered about. That's not to say that there weren't non-Israelites out there, but he's addressing a specific part of the church. But ultimately, the key is Israelites were still Israelites.